What's going on, everybody? Simple back at it. Like I'm checking my height today. We are checking out Utrecht. This is planning for the people and bikes, not for cars. If you guys enjoy this, make sure you head on over to Street Films channel and show them some support over there as well. If you want to get your requests up here, hit up the Google form down in the description. Let's go. I like that light. I really like that light. That's cool.
Utrecht is a cycling-friendly city. The population is 350,000 people. At a daily basis, there are 125,000 cyclists passing through downtown.
Wow.
Utrecht. So that's quite a lot.
That's amazing.
I'm really fond of cycling because it has so many advantages. It's about the noise, it's about clean air, about climate, but also about how friendly it is in the cities. You really have the idea that people are the boss
that's
on the
cool.
street
Little
and
bug
not
shield for the baby.
machines.
It's all to get cars out of the city center, park at the edge of the city, or go into it and then pay the full price. But don't go through the city. That's the whole idea.
Things that have changed radically in the last years. So you can see what happens if you choose the radical choice.
The more I see these bike lanes, the more I wish America had this. Like, I really, really wish America had this. I would travel so much more.
Get the car out and the bikes and the people in.
Well, this is called Vredenburg. It's one of the central locations in our city. It's dedicated only to bus traffic and bicycle traffic and of course pedestrians. So regular cars are not permitted here. It's a very busy place because it's close to the central station and it's en route to the city center. It's actually the busiest bicycle location of the Netherlands.
Utrecht, in a lot of ways, is emblematic of an entire country that really made a very resolute decision in the 1970s to not build their cities around the automobile, and 40 to 50 years later,
that's
now
a really cool looking building.
Really reaping the rewards of those decisions. And so whether you go to any number of hundreds of cities across the Netherlands, their city centers are reserved for commerce, for community, for social connection. You've got markets.
You can ride like
shops,
mopeds on there.
Social interaction.
Saw some dude cruising on one.
Lots of people on foot.
On average, in Utrecht, 98% of households own one bike at least, and 50% owns 3 or more.
For all the traffic to the city center, only about 12 or 15% is by car. So the big majority of people come by bicycle first, but also public transport.
When I went to school as a teenager, things were very different. And a lot of Dutch people have forgotten about it. I'm amazed by all that transformation, especially here in Utrecht. Things are changing rapidly and I just adore that.
We're standing now on the Kroeselaan, which is actually one of the first projects the city took up when they wanted to start changing the mobility system.
Okay.
So it used to be 4 lanes for cars, right where I'm standing actually.
Wow.
And as you can see now, it has completely changed. It has got lots of space for pedestrians.
Wow.
It's got lots of space for cyclists. And there are no cars in this part of the street.
On the map you can see the 4-lane road, and if you look at a modern map, there isn't even a road anymore.
Yeah, it's
They
gone.
don't want any through traffic here.
Okay, we're
That's
still on the
incredible.
Kroeselaan, and as you can see there's now a really wide bicycle path. Many years ago, where the bicycle path is now, used to be parked cars and a car lane. So they completely transformed it.
Just 10 years ago, this was a median of a 4-lane road, 2 lanes in that direction, 2 lanes in that direction.
Wow.
5 years later, the road was closed, only buses could go through, you had to go left or right, and now, today, the trees are here.
This area right
That's
here
incredible.
in Kroeselaan is all new. It was not like this when I came here 2 years ago, and it's just an amazing improvement.
So we are standing in the street that really is the entrance to the old city center from the central railway station for pedestrians. And it used to look like there's a parking lot with 75 cars parked here. And the city
All right, and that was in
council wanted
2015,
this to
so we're
be
6
a
years
nice
later.
entrance to the city center. So the city council proposed to take away like 60, so 15 left. And then the merchants here said, no, we want them all gone. because we're right off the pedestrianized zone where sales are better.
Wow. Okay, so there's actually incentive for businesses
We
too.
are here on the Daphne Schippersbrug. Which
Oh,
is,
that's the Swan Bridge,
We
right?
are here on the
That's it in back of her, or am I mistaken?
Daphne Schippersbrug, which is a very cool piece of infrastructure, and it was a really big fight to get it here. So they had a problem with space because they had a school that needed to stay here, and they also wanted to have the bike infrastructure. So what they ended up doing was putting it together. So the bike infrastructure and the bridge, they land on the roof of the school.
The school board is working with the architects and
wow.
working with the engineers and the transportation planners to design a project that integrates so well into the community and so well
That's
into
incredible.
the urban fabric.
And they redesigned the whole area, so it's now for children to play, and it's also infrastructure and the building in one.
It wasn't until we started sharing renderings and photographs of this project that I think the world stood up and said, hold on, what are the Dutch doing? I think that speaks to how normal, how ordinary, how unremarkable cycling has become here in the Netherlands. Is they've actually started integrating it into their buildings, the parking facilities at the train stations, now building cycle paths on the roofs of schools. I mean, these are all things that are pipe dreams in most other places in the world.
Definitely a pipe dream here in America.
This is a biking parking facility which you can drive through on your bike. So this is the entrance on the north side, and we have an entrance on the south side as well.
Oh, that's
and right
cool.
now we have place for about 8,000 bikes.
It's going to be enlarged next August. Then there will be room for 12,500 bikes. It's one of the parkings in this area, which add up to capacity of 33,000 bicycles. And it's very important because it facilitates the combination between bicycling and using the train.
I work in Amsterdam, so I go every day from Utrecht to Amsterdam. As soon as you park, you're right under the central station, so immediately you're in the train. So yeah, I think it takes me 10 to 15 minutes from here, and then I'm in the train. So it's
That's
very,
so
very
cool.
fast, very convenient.
They have a number and a place, a row number and a place number, and a QR code.
I was just
You can use
wondering
to
that.
find your bag if you want to.
Before it was just putting your bike somewhere on the streets. Hopefully it was still there. So
Yeah.
it became easier and more convenient to go to the train station.
Now, what is bike theft like out there? Is there a lot of people that steal bikes to like upgrade their own, or is that kind of just not really a thing out there?
Check in with your card, bike around, see if there's a spot. And if you go early, there's a lot of spots where you can park.
Yeah, well, you've seen the big parking facility at the central train station, but that's not all. In the downtown area, we have lots of smaller parking facilities.
This is the biggest one. It's really well used, especially for shopping. So in the weekends, these kind of parkings are really occupied.
Right now we're building two more, one for 1,000 places and one for 800 places. And that's
Okay.
still not enough. In the downtown area we need 5,000 or 6,000 places extra.
Wow.
As a city we provide also smaller facilities from say 15, 20 bikes to 100 bikes.
That's incredible.
We're trying to make more roads suitable for bicycles, so people have a choice. We are rebuilding streets, turning them into 30 km per hour streets, closing them down one direction or both directions, so we make room for pedestrians and cyclists.
Okay.
So you have the sign of the bicycle streets is up there, and it means that cars are guests on the street. So cyclists are equal to cars, so you don't overhaul, you just stay behind them until there's really clear that you can pass. So what you see there in the middle of the street is a rumble strip, and it's used to naturally keep cars behind cyclists. Because if they will pass the rumble strip, the car will go like that, you have a little noise in the car, and people don't like it, and they stay behind the cyclist. The speed limit on this
This
will
guy
be
just
30
driving
kilometers an
right up
hour.
on that thing.
Sometimes you have fietsstraten which are 15 kilometers an hour, but it's very low speed. The difference between car infrastructure and bike infrastructure is this is one of the main routes. And listen how quiet it is, and you can hear people talking and you hear the sounds of the bicycles, and yet thousands of people are riding here every day. Here in the back you see the bicycle bridge. It's actually very old, but during the times the came by, it was more and more dedicated for cyclists. So now it's car-free. Car drivers have to ride around it, and that is one of the major arguments for the success of cycling. Make it fast, make it convenient, and make it, of course, more convenient and faster than for cars.
Yeah, for sure.
We invest a lot in noise-free or low-noise measures. For example, these stones, cobblestones that are used.
So don't be showing up here buying a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or something and just sitting outside revving it. Okay, got it.
They're specially selected on the fact that they make not so much noise when you drive over them.
That's really
We
cool.
also do that with the tarmac. The tarmac has to produce very low noise.
We use red tarmac in the Netherlands, and the reason is it's a visual signal to car drivers that they are on an equal level with other traffic, mostly pedestrians and cyclists. It's a special kind of tarmac, so it's got less friction, so you don't have to work so hard as a cyclist to go forward.
I
that's
moved
cool.
from Boston, Massachusetts to Utrecht in June of 2017. And everywhere that we want to go
How'd you do that? How do we do that? We need to do that.
on a bicycle,
I'm
even
saying.
if it's to IKEA, there is a safe route. Even to the box
She's simple,
stores,
just riding
you
around
can
with a
go
camera.
on bike infrastructure. It's just wonderful.
I'll ride this whole
This is another part
place.
of Utrecht in the bicycle network where you can see that
Ride
the city
laps
gives
around
cyclists the upper hand to the cars in the system. And you can only cross here as a cyclist and pedestrian. And when you turn that way, there's also only a route for cyclists. So a car driver has to go around, and if you're on your bike, you can go straight. So for a mental feeling, that's very important, because on your bike you not only are faster, but you only feel faster.
Yeah. So many more incentives.
So where are we standing right now? Used to be water since about the year 1000 to 1100, so almost 900 years ago. It has been water ever since, but for 40 years that it was a motorway.
Wow.
And soon that motorway will only be a footnote in history. So here it says end of the 1960s, so this is the original city moat or canal, as you want to say it, with the original bridge and the original water. Then in 1969 they started making that road, drilling all these piles in there to support this road that they were building. Then they built a viaduct here. This is 1974, the viaduct is finished and it looks like a proper motorway. You could drive 100 kilometers per hour here. It was total madness. 2020, the magic year, this is when it all should happen. And you can see how inclusive it should be. So,
That
it is for
is
everyone.
so cool.
For every car you can put in 12 bikes, for example. So 12 people, and everybody driving a car usually drives it by himself. They take up a lot of space.
I hear a lot about the American cities, and they will tell me we don't have space for bicycles. When here you see you can have a really good system.
They lie to you, they're lazy. I'll tell you that straight up. And the places in between buildings are very, very far apart.
Still have space for cyclists, have space for pedestrians, and have space for cars.
Gives our children the freedom to go to their sports, to go to their friends all by their own. I think internationally that's quite exceptional, that from a young age on you can go about where
freedoms,
you like
independence.
without the help of your parents. So it really has a lot of advantages, especially in an urban circumstances.
And that means so much for the residents who are able to
Oh,
live,
look at that
work,
thing.
and play in their city without having their mobility and their livelihood and their happiness
Look at
limited
that thing.
by cars.
That was really cool. All right, let me know what you guys thought about this one down in the comments below. Let me know where to go from here. What other kind of stuff do you guys want to check out? Put it through the Google form. We'll get it up here. Make sure you guys stay safe, stay healthy, stay positive. I'll catch you on the next one.